Good morning, magandang umaga po. This is about the result of the survey that I conducted a few days ago. There were about 9 questions that I asked. What is your opinion about the Philippines' handling of the pandemic? Anywhere from travel restrictions to lockdowns to vaccinations. That's what we'll talk about. Stay with me. Few days ago, I asked you to please respond to this survey, and out of that appeal, I got about 300 respondents. It's okay. I would have preferred to get more. Unfortunately, by the way, this is an afterthought. I should have also asked, are you from the Philippines? Are you from the US? Are you from Canada, Australia, other countries? This way, I will know what percentage of my people responding is coming from where. Unfortunately, I did not ask that. So this is just the overall read, and about 70% of my viewers are from the US. About 10-12% is from the Philippines, and the rest from other parts of the country. So we'll take a look at it. Let's look at the result. Question 1 has 293 answers. Now, according to this, does Philippine Consular Office respond to your email inquiries? That's a question. I used to get a lot of complaints, so now we'll get a more realistic answer. Now, the not applicable ones means they did not even try to contact by email the consular office, so they cannot render an opinion. So of the 121, we will eliminate that. So we have 172 respondents who either answered yes, no, or sometimes. Yes is about 16%, okay? Not the 9.2, because that 9.2 is of the total, including the not applicable. So we're eliminating that. So about 16% always. No, 44%. Sometimes, meaning inconsistent, 40%. So the no and the sometimes makes up for about 84%. That's not too good, guys. That's not too good. So let's look at the next one. Does Philippine Consular Office answer your phone calls and or returns your call if you left a message? Yes, always is about 6%. Same deal here. The not applicable ones we're eliminating. 6%. No, never is 67%, and sometimes is 27%. Guys, when you have a voicemail and somebody's leaving a message, guess what? They expect the calls to be returned. Okay? But look, 67%, and sometimes is 26%. That's also inconsistent. That's extremely bad. Only 6% receive a return call or the call was answered right away. 6%. Not good. Next question. Are you happy with services you receive from the Philippine Consular Office? So this is an overall question. Yes, very much so is 8%. Again, we're removing the bottom part. Absolutely not, 60%. Not good. Somewhat, meaning inconsistent, is 31%. So, better than 90% are either sometimes okay, but most of the time, like 60% is no. No good. No good. Only 8% are happy. They're very much so. You can do better than that. Question number 4 has 295 answers. Do you agree with the Philippine government's overall handling of COVID-19 travel restrictions, protocol, to fight the pandemic? 0 strongly disagree. 5 strongly agree. Look at the 5. Minuscule. Almost 75% are totally in disagreement, has a very bad impression of the way Philippines is handling the pandemic. Now, that's not my opinion now, okay? That's the 295 that's responding here. 1 slightly better, to, for practical purposes, focus on the 75, or you can add the other, what, 20%? What's that? 95. 95% are not that good. And absolutely not good is 75%. Close to 75%. Wow. Are travelers given adequate time to react when it comes to announcing new travel restrictions being imposed? Does this surprise me? Absolutely not. Almost 100%. About 90% says, nope. Why is that? There's a meeting, following morning, effective that day. Boop. What happens to people who are already on the way to the Philippines, traveling to the Philippines? Had they known, they probably would have not traveled and saved themselves a lot of trouble. Aren't you even thinking of that? Philippine government, are you not even thinking of that? Very bad, very bad. It's not like war. When there is war, you never know when it's going to break out, like 9/11. Who was in charge then? Bush. He closed the airports in an instant. Why? There is war. Pandemic is not war. Okay, you can give a few days notice so people don't have to travel. Can you imagine people already in Taiwan, already in Hong Kong, on the way to the Philippines? What? Now I have to stay for 14 days? Quarantine. How about those people who do not have the money to pay for those hotels? Number of travel reservations to the Philippines that was cancelled or disrupted due to changes in travel restrictions. Okay. This one we will eliminate the top because they did not travel at all. I'm talking about the people who are traveling. Only 5%, 8 out of the 295, was able to make it okay with no problem, no issues. They were disrupted once, 28%. Disrupted twice, 33%. And 3 or more times, 34%. Look at that. What an inconvenience that we do not have to go through. If only government knows how to plan a little bit about this stuff. Very disappointing. Now, like what I said, I am hearing a lot. I'm giving a little bit of my opinion, but I don't know what it really is. Now we know. If you are a vaccinated passenger entering the Philippines and a 7-day quarantine is required if and when Green Lane is implemented, would that encourage you to come to the Philippines? Yes, 22%. No, 55%. Maybe is undecided, about 23%. So let's assume that the 23 becomes a yes. The entire 23 becomes a yes. That is almost like half. That's 44, 45%. So let's consider it half. Half. You know what that's telling me? Right now, let's say the average number of passengers is 3,000 and you reduce it to 1,005. You can eliminate that cap. You can eliminate that cap and say no more cap on passengers, but we will have 7-day restriction. About 50% is not willing to travel, which means 1,005. About 1,005. Okay, so maybe it's going to be 1,007 or 1,300. You don't have to be an accountant or an engineer to make it exact 1,005. You can eliminate that requirement based on this, because they still will not travel with the 7-day restriction. Quarantine for vaccinated employees, passengers. All right, so next. Will you allow yourself to be vaccinated to control the pandemic? Yes, 83%. No, 9.5. Maybe 7 point something. So at the most, if all these people, not all, but if 83% of the people go, we're going to have the herd immunity. So it is doable. doable, guys. It can be done. Now, a lot of people are always making not only one comment, but 1,000 comments down below. They say, oh, no, you will die. Oh, come on, you're the minority. I respect you if that's what you want, but most of the people are willing to go through it. All right? Last question. If you are open to being vaccinated, which vaccine would you prefer to receive? Look at that. Sinovac, 0. Pfizer, 58. Down below, the next one, Moderna, is 36%. Johnson & Johnson, 12%. That's because it's only one shot. Okay? AstraZeneca is very low. And all others, 8%. Very low. Sinovac. Now, guys, I'm talking to the Philippine government. If you want to control the pandemic, you should not focus on the lockdowns and this and that. You should focus on making sure that Pfizer is able to get into the Philippines. Buy as much as you can. Guess what? You will have the money to buy the vaccine and give them free to the people. If you open up the country will provide its own money, which you can spend on vaccination, and that is where you should focus it. Focus your attention on vaccines. Nobody wants Sinovac. And that's what you keep on injecting. Guys, a little bit of common sense here. Only if you have the facts, only if you have the data, then you can make the decision. Instead of reacting like little children. It's really bad. It's really bad. So guys, what I'm saying is a lot of people are disappointed. I would say focus on, okay, I can see before, early on, when there was no vaccine, you do the lockdown, you do the travel restriction and all that. Okay? Because you have no choice. We had no vaccine. But now we have vaccine. Now we have vaccine. So why not focus the attention on that? Instead of restrictions here, restrictions there, and not good. Well, I'll appreciate this if somebody who knows somebody in government, if this information could be relayed to them so that they have a better idea as to what's going on. Now, I decided to post the result at this time, although I would prefer to have more input because time is of the essence. It's important that this gets relayed not to the passengers, I know how they feel, but to the people in government. So if anybody knows someone in government, I'll appreciate it if you can forward this posting to them and let them know what the result is. And hopefully I can contribute something to the betterment of the Philippine government. And if and when I get additional, let's say it reaches 500 or 1,000 subscribers, and there is a significant difference in the result between this and that, I will post it again. Okay, I will let this thing go. And I wish more people from the Philippines will join the survey because I want to get a better read as to what's also happening in the Philippines. And maybe there are. So thank you very much, guys. Again, thank you for watching. And please make it a great day and God bless.